I guess I don't have a flip option while I'm recording. That kind of sucks, actually. Why doesn't it give me a rotate my camera option while I'm actually using the camera? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's got a back button, a pause button, a stop button, and a camera snapshot button, and it's recording, and down here at the bottom it says no flash or flash. But no rotate the camera. How do I rotate the camera? How do I flip it from back and forth from front camera to rear camera? Doesn't make any sense. Can't see nothing. I'm messing with buttons and doing things on the screen I don't even know what it is. There is absolutely no flip the camera button while you're recording. You either start out on forward and record the whole thing that way, or you, on the rear camera rather, this one, or you start out on the front facing camera, and there's no way to flip it once you're recording video. It's bullshit. This is stupid. This is stupid. Where's my menu option at while I'm recording? It gives me control over the brightness. I kind of like that right there. That's more natural, I think. Maybe too bright. How about that? That looks more natural. Yep. And then I can focus. That's it. That's it. I don't know what this AF is down here, but I'm going to turn it off. Automatic flash, maybe. Uh-oh, there went my soda. That's awesome. That's nice. Give a little character. I guess Noisy Boy was thirsty. Wanted a sip of my Sam's Cola. I guess now that Walmart's owned by China, we can call it Sam's Cola. Sam's Cola. Sama Cola. I wouldn't know how to enunciate that correctly, so I probably shouldn't even try. Talk through that whole song. It's good. Can't say their name if I want to use this video, but you know who they are. Hey, there's that pile of stuff I left laying on the ground. I need to get in underneath there and finish my cable work because the bracket that I put on the side of the transmission is in the wrong location and I have to move it, so I had to abandon that job and totally forgot all of my fasteners laying on the ground. Wow, rookie mistake. If it would have rained one time, those would have been buried in silt from dew and condensation and, of course, you know, moisture in the air settling on it from raining. It doesn't matter whether it's sitting underneath there or not, it's going to get wet and covered up with mud. What happens every time it rains, I've got to come out here and clean this thing out. Kind of sucks ass that all of this is open now and everything is blows in there, but I kind of like it that way once I get my radiator and shroud and fan and everything in there. Put a trans cooler on it. Got one line back there for my trans cooler. Already on the side of the transmission. And the transmission that I was working on. 12 things going on at once there. So that's going to be my connection for where I drop my slip pipe in for now. Some of that super high temp JB Weld is 4 pipes. Pretty expensive stuff. Ceramic. So that slip fit joint, just line the inside of that union right there between the 2 male pieces and slip that outer female coupler over one. Hammer it on there as far as you can with a 2x4. Tap, tap, tap. Cut this one where you want it. Pull everything to the side, push it back in, marry it together. Of course, you want to goop the inside of this one and the outside of this one where you cut it, and then get that JB Weld muffler goop. Pull them apart, slip them back together, and Bob's your uncle. Tighten up those 3 bad boys right there, and she should seal up for the first time. Once it gets heat, it locks that ceramic in, and every time you fire it up after that, no worry about having to have metal weld on it, because the filler is your weld. And that's how I'm going to do it. If I need a clamp, I'll put one on it, but I do it this way, and it's never failed. No clamp. As soon as you put a clamp on it and tighten it down, you make it go out around and you ruin the seal. So, do it this way once and see if it works for you. Being that this is an 87, it has to have catalytic converters on it. So, I did when I built it the first time with that 355. I put dual Summit high flow cats on it. They operate at 1400 degrees, and they have to be a minimum of 18 inches away from the exit of the header, and no more than 50. And I think I got it right back there where the stock heat shield was at, and I'm right at the max amount of where it activates. And it's got that stinky catalytic converter smell to it, boy, once it's been running for a minute. So they're right there at that sweet spot where they don't get too hot, but they get just right. And couldn't have put them in a better location, in my own opinion. But I would like to put an X pipe in. Maybe later on down the road, I'll figure something out of how to put a crossover and put an H pipe in it, and balance the right bank with the left bank. Maybe scavenge another 15 or 20 horse out of putting an H pipe in. But for a street truck, you know, it's kind of pointless, really. And until you got some way to put that power to the pavement, and I don't. Stock peg leg underneath of it with highway gears. I have no idea what the gear ratio is, but it does alright with the 3-speed in it. Wind this one up to about 26, 2800. Out on the highway, 70, 75. Floating about 25, 26, 2800, depending on how fast I'm cruising. Yep, it does alright, I guess. It's good for everyday round town truck. It's a good gear. Too bad it didn't have a Detroit locker in it instead of 342s. That'd be awesome. Yep. That way I could go back to a 700 R4, or even better, I'll build me a 4L80E, and yeah. If I'm going to go through the trouble of having a 4L80E, I might as well have an LS in front of it. Keep all this old school Gen 1 stuff for something else, like a hot rod. You know what I mean? I don't know. This is what I can afford at the moment and what I traded my Harley for, so I hope that everything that I was able to get done to it pans out. That's all I can hope for at this point. And if not, well, you know, got some halfway decent parts to start over with. And yeah, that's all part of wrenching. If you don't get it right the first time, well, pull it all back out and pull it apart and see where you made your mistake and fix it and put it back together right the next time, dummy. The way I learned out of necessity, and necessity turned into after work hobby on the weekends, and hobbies kind of turn into obsessions with certain things. And That's me and square bodies. I've had umpteen of them already, and this one's kind of sentimental to me now. I don't know why. Don't really get too attached to any of them, but yeah, I kind of like this one. Show you the inside and what I've done to it so far. Yeah, pretty basic. Got rubber floor mats. Real Tree. No, I'm not sponsoring Real Tree. I just kind of got this given to me as a gift, so it saved what's underneath here, and this is kind of why it's on there. So yeah, there you see that. You know, she's a old farm truck. Had been sitting in the field for 6 years when I got it off a guy named Colin. He didn't like to be called Colin. His name was Colin. And he was very adamant about that. So anyway, there was nothing in here. This was all ripped out and gutted. I mean, just somebody had been in here and just, you don't want to see what's under there. I straightened it out the best I could and put my dad's Pioneer Super Tuner 3 out of the Cordoba in here. And it's a gauge set that I had in my little red short bed that I totaled. I hit a parked car running about 50 miles an hour, and my right hip and ribs hit about right here when I impacted, and my body drove this dash all the way up to here. My head hit right there and folded the bill of my cap and my face just went right out the window. I had cuts from about here down. The bill of my cap just folded down right over my face. And I had cuts from here down on my face. And face went right out the window in that little short bed. Pow! And my whole body, I woke up, I was sitting down there on the floorboard. I woke up about 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 8 seconds. Hell, I don't know. And I looked up and I saw the keys were on. Throttle was still stuck wide open. Tack was just hitting the rev limiter at like 5,800. And I just went, and it took like 12 seconds for it to finally shut itself down and stop running after I killed the ignition to it. So yeah, she was warm. Made it from Harrisburg to Columbia in 12 minutes. In that little short bed, that was a pretty nasty little ride. I'm glad nobody was with me on that one. Top speeds reaching about 150 miles an hour in some straights. Yeah, that little short bed would move. This one right here, I wouldn't even want to try doing anything with this big heavy turd. It's like an aerodynamic brick going down the highway. One little crosswind in this thing, man. Like a wandering willy all of a sudden. Yeah, I put all new shocks all the way around it. Them red ones that are now over spray painted black. Put those all on there a year or two ago. Man, it's so tight and stiff now. Maybe I gotta loosen all that up and grease it and retorque it, and not torque it so tight, leave it so that it's kind of wonky. Rode better when everything was kind of blah. Maybe I tightened everything up too tight. That overload spring is terrific. I love it. I love having it. But for, when I'm going to use the truck more, I've only ever put it on them springs one time. I don't see the point in having them in there anymore, so this guy, right, can you see that guy right there? That stopper, it's coming out. They're going to go a C notch right there. That axle's coming from down there up to here. And then, I don't know, might think about doing something here with this rear shackle mount and that front mount. Once everything's flipped, might put a 4-link system underneath of it with a body anti-sway bar hooked right to the axle housing so that everything kind of has a little more bite, less wheel hop. All of that's got to come out to do that. So, yeah. Maybe I might just keep it stock, except for what's under the hood. I can't believe that I don't have a way to flip my camera while I'm recording. It lets me take like still photos if I hit that camera button up there while I'm recording, but it won't let me flip the camera while I'm recording. Alright. Talking. How about that? Now we don't have to listen to that guy anymore. Got a little bit done on the X-Wing 1000. Got the oil pump back in. I should grab a light and show you that. Let's do that. How many of you have ever seen one of these before? Okay, so you got a regular white LED light, and you hit it again, it's red. And of course, if you've ever been in the military, you know what the red one is used for. Night vision. And of course, this is ultraviolet, which is a cool purple. I don't know if the camera will pick that up or not. It's always different when you're trying to pick up LED through a digital megapixel camera. It's different. If I was filming this on film, you would actually be able to see those different prismatic colors that I can see in that LED. But digital cameras and photoreceptors in the digital cameras simply can't pick it up because it's compressing and compiling the information on a different spectrum and level. If that makes any sense? Alright, let's go back to white. Bam! I don't know if you can see that. Boy, there it goes. My phone finally decided to flip for me in my finger. And, so I gotta get that hose put back on. This black hose goes there. Got that started, and that's about as far as I got after I got the oil pump back in. So there's a little valve that goes right here inside this body, and it's a one-way check valve, and there's a seal. Look at that. All I did was tap that thing and it turned on me. Wow, it must have a short in it. That was so cool. Check that out. Wow, bam, bam, bam. Ooh, man, I just became a DJ. Bing, down, bam, 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 ding, down. Oh, there we go. That was fun. Dang. Let's do it again. Wow, that's cool, man. Okay, that's enough of that shit. Alright. What the fuck happened to that thing? Anyway, moving on. What was I talking about? Must not have been that important, so probably a good spot to end this video. Right about here. Hope you enjoyed this 20 minutes. You've been kicking it with Kicker. Kicker out.